Technically, scientists have been able to clone human beings for almost a decade, which is why once in a while, humans begin to wonder whether it's time to worry about getting cloned again. Military forces around the world have wondered about the possibilities of human cloning to get an edge over their enemies. While scientists are worried about ethics and the fact that we might not need clones anyway, still, there have been many rumors of high-ranking people getting cloned, from presidents to celebrities. This brings up the question, are there clones walking among us, indistinguishable from the original person? Let's dive in. Imagine waking up one day to find out that there's a clone of yourself out there, living a life that mirrors your own in almost every way. You bump into this person on the street, someone with your exact face, voice, and memories, but with their own experiences. It would be shocking as you suddenly realize that you are no longer unique. In a world where clones are common, public reaction will be explosive. Clones would probably begin to feel like second-class citizens, as they have the same emotions as humans, but were probably created as backups or organ harvesting. The front page news would probably be about identity, individuality, and human rights. In the most intense cases, there will be reports of clones rebelling, demanding equality and recognition. Society will be split into two camps. There will be those who embrace cloning as a scientific marvel and those who view it as an abomination that undermines human dignity. Cloning will lead to a dystopian world where the concept of self will become muddled and identity will no longer be a given. In this world, every time you sit on a public bus, watch a movie, or take a walk, you will always wonder whether the person next to you is a copy or an original. In reality, scientists are closer to cloning than ever. Although there are a lot of ethical and scientific barriers that make human cloning risky, dangerous, and controversial, the technology that would be used in cloning raises concerns about rapid aging, genetic disorders, and the reduction of genetic diversity. Many are fearful about the possibility of cloned humans being treated as commodities or exploited for organ harvesting. There would also be a societal impact, shifting human culture as they might be used to replace a person who has passed away or is lost. You might think this story is dramatic, especially with the sci-fi movies about cloning, but it's possible that these would be the real concerns that arise with human cloning if it becomes a mainstay in the future. Should we ever cross this threshold? Some scientists think not. If you think their view is interesting, let us know what you'd like us to talk about in our next video. Cloning involves creating a genetically identical copy of an organism and has always been on the minds of scientists and experts from around the world. Animal cloning is already possible, with different animals like rabbits, sheep, goats, monkeys, carp, and even pets being cloned. The most famous case of animal cloning happened in 1996 with Dolly the sheep. When this scientific breakthrough occurred, it made headlines around the world as the first mammal to be successfully cloned from an adult cell. Many thought that this would usher in the golden age of cloning and that the first human clone would surely be a few years away. Dolly's cloning was carried out by a team of scientists at the Roslin Institute of Scotland. She was cloned using a technique called somatic cell nuclear transfer. The process involves taking a cell from the udder of a 6-year-old Finn Dorset sheep and then removing the nucleus, which contained the DNA. The nucleus was inserted into the unfertilized egg cell of a Scottish blackface ewe and then stimulated with electricity, making it develop into an embryo. This embryo was implanted into the surrogate mother, the Scottish blackface ewe, who gave birth to Dolly. The main reason why Dolly the sheep was so revolutionary was because she was cloned from an adult cell. Before this, scientists didn't think that they could ever reprogram adult cells into a new organism. Dolly lived for about 6 years, living a normal life as a sheep and giving birth to 6 lambs through normal reproduction. She was later euthanized in February 2003 after she developed arthritis and a lung disease. Critics speculated that this was because she was cloned from an older cell, but it was concluded that this was not the case. The disease also affected the normal sheep at the institute where she lived. Dolly the sheep was just the start of the science of cloning, as scientists used the same and even more advanced methods to clone other animals. Pet cloning became a big deal over the years as people started cloning their dogs or horses, paying people to do it for them. This brought the question of whether it was time to worry about human cloning again, just when the fad had died down. Although there have been advances in cloning technology in animals, no humans have ever been cloned. In fact, the process of cloning a human is one that is highly unethical and complex, not to mention the danger and the fact that it is prone to failure. Many people have suggested the benefits and disadvantages of human cloning. Some say that human clones would play a role in eradicating genetic diseases and would have many opportunities for organ harvesting. Others even think that the cloning process would eliminate birth defects. Meanwhile, other scientists have said that cloning would increase the risk of birth defects and can lead to strange humans. There have also been many unfounded claims of human cloning since the success of DALL-E. Despite these claims, there has been no evidence, so it's widely believed to be a hoax. Of course, conspiracy theorists would think that this is untrue and that these experiments were secretly successful. They also say that some people have already been replaced by their clones. But as you know, there's still no proof. Animal studies have shown that cloned humans have high rates of abnormalities, and the lethal defects might not be visible until after birth. In fact, scientists succeeded only once after trying 277 times. Cloning a human embryo would be just as difficult, leading to stillbirth or the baby dying shortly after death. During the Second World War, many regimes, especially Nazi Germany, engaged in unethical and inhumane experiments. One of the experiments that they made was on twin children, as they tried to learn about the genetic differences and similarities between twins to improve genetic engineering. They infected one twin with a disease to see if the other would be affected, and many more inhumane experiments. However, many suggest that these experiments were an attempt to learn about cloning in the future, as Germany was focused on growing their military and achieving genetic perfection. Countries and military organizations have also explored the use of cloning to grow their armies and create super soldiers without any defects. In China, human testing has been done to clone humans and make super soldiers. Many scientists in China have emphasized the use of bioengineering to revolutionize military affairs. Russia is not behind in this, as the Russian defense minister has also suggested cloning an army of warriors to grow their military power. Despite countries considering cloning as a way to increase military power, cloning humans is not yet possible. Not only is it not impossible, but it's also illegal. Human cloning has been banned globally to prohibit the creation of genetically identical copies. The United Nations Declaration of Human Cloning was adopted in 2005, calling on member states to prohibit all forms of human cloning. The US also has the Human Cloning Prohibition Act of 2003 to prohibit human cloning for medical research or using it to make babies. Many other countries have joined in the act to make human cloning and any research or testing related to it illegal. There are also ethical concerns about the identity, individuality, and rights of a cloned person. If you have a clone, will the clone be equal to you, or would the clone be beneath you? Would the clone be considered a normal person or your backup, used to help you when you're sick or in need of organs? All of these questions arise, making one wonder whether they should ever make clones in the first place. Although human cloning is not yet possible, cloning with robots and AI has become the norm in today's world. Digital cloning is widespread, especially among CEOs and educators. Nowadays, you can clone your voice or your face through audio or video. Many CEOs and educators now have a digital clone that has been programmed with all of their information so they can have lessons and meetings with investors. You can now create your very own digital twin. Although a digital clone cannot be touched or seen in person, it is one step forward in allowing humans to be in more than one place at a time. People are also using digital clones to keep the legacy of their loved ones alive. Technology has made it possible to create robots that look very much like humans, and with artificial intelligence, a robot clone can be created based on an original human. Human-based robot clones could be used for space exploration, labor-intensive jobs, and other roles where humans have to withstand extreme conditions. A robot clone won't be able to move smoothly like a human clone, so it would be obvious that it's a robot and not a human. AI could be used to create, educate, program, and deploy these clones, ensuring that they are suited for different tasks. Robotics and AI are making cloning more possible than ever, moving some scientists closer to the goal. But others still maintain that not only is cloning inefficient and dangerous, there's no reason to make humans in this way. Although cloning promises different benefits, there's no need to make entire copies of humans just to get these benefits. That's probably why you haven't had the chance to face off with your evil clone. If human cloning becomes possible, would the clone be an exact copy of you, like you see in the movies? Or would it be different? Unlike what science fiction tells you, a clone would start life as a newborn, regardless of how old the original person is. Dolly the sheep had been implanted in a surrogate mother, while the original sheep was already an adult, so it won't be an instant duplicate, but there would be aging differences. The clone would never be the exact copy of you at the same time. Clones might have the same DNA, but they won't be the same person. That's because other factors affect appearance, personality, and behavior, such as environment, life experiences, upbringing, and others. They won't even have the same fingerprint. Fingerprints are made due to environmental factors during fetal development, so it would be possible to differentiate the original and the clone. Do you think the interest in human cloning should resume, or should we just let sleeping dogs lie? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more captivating and fascinating content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.